So around 2019, some absolute geniuses figured out that maybe, just maybe, you don't need to use order books and match buyers with sellers like some kind of blockchain dating service, right? What if we just used math instead? And they were not even talking about complicated math. Like they were talking about simple algebra that you probably learned in high school, right? So that is how the whole automated market makers were created, or AMM if you're cool, right? So here is how it works. Instead of waiting around for Bob to decide if he wants to sell you his ETH, you just dump your USDC into a magical pool, and the pool spits out ETH based on a formula. I mean, the most famous formula is X times Y equals K. I mean, it sounds fancy, but it's basically a way of saying that keep the pools balanced at all times, right? So let's say you have a pool with 100 ETH and 200,000 USDC, right? That means each ETH is worth around 2K, like $2,000. So someone buys one ETH. Now the pool has less ETH, so the price of the ETH automatically goes up to keep that magical constant number happy. It's actually pretty elegant when you think about it. And suddenly everyone was like, holy crap, I can trade anytime. 3 a.m. on a Tuesday, no problem. The math doesn't sleep. The math doesn't take lunch breaks. The math doesn't care if it's Christmas. And the companies who actually use this, like Uniswap and all, they absolutely blew up. Curve finance became a thing. Sushi swap, which basically forked Uniswap, and somehow that worked out. So your friend Bob started providing liquidity and started acting like he was running the Goldman Sachs from his laptop at Starbucks, right? So people were making passive income just by depositing tokens into the pool. It felt like the future has arrived. I mean, twice. Like we already had it once before, but yeah, I mean, this was something cool. So yeah, but the thing is, what nobody tells beginners about AMMs, especially when they're trying to get you hyped about providing liquidity and earned fees, is that AMMs are kind of expensive if you're not careful. Like really expensive if you're trying to trade serious size. Okay, let's say you want to buy a decent chunk of ETH, like the 10 ETH from the pool that we talked about earlier, like the pool that has 100 ETH, right? So since the pool only has 100 ETH in total, if you're trying to buy 10 ETH from it, you are buying 10 percentage of the entire thing. Now watch what happens. And I mean, this is where it gets painful because your first ETH costs you $2,000, right? Cool. That I mean that can be the market price. But your second ETH, I mean, the pool, when you're buying your second ETH, the pool has already shifted because you took out the first ETH. So now it costs you 2010, right? $2010. Your third ETH will cost you $2020 because the total pool keeps shifting against you. So by the time you get your 10th ETH, you're paying like, 2.1K for something that was worth around 2K when you started, right? So do the math, and you're paid an average of 2050 per ETH instead of 2000. And that extra 500 that you lost, that's what we call slippage. And it's basically the pool going, hey buddy, you're moving the market here, so it's going to cost you, right? And here's the real problem. Like this happens every single time. I mean, the bigger your trade, the worse it gets. It's not a bug, it's actually a feature. I mean, AMMs literally punish you for trading size. Professional traders absolutely hates this, like viscerally, deeply, profoundly hates this. Because in traditional finance, you can execute a $1 million trade without moving the market much if there's a good liquidity. But on an AMM, you're basically paying a tax for every unit you trade. And remember how I said AMM solved the friend running problem that plagued order books? I mean, if you don't, that's because I probably didn't say it, and it really didn't help with the friend running. I mean, turns out, still, like even if you're using AMMs, the bots still watch the mempools, right? They can see your big trade coming in. They can jump in front of you with higher gas fee, shift the market against you, and profit off your pain, right? It's like someone cutting in line at a coffee shop, except instead of just annoying you, they make thousands of dollars doing it. So AMM solved some problems, but created a whole new set of issues, that they had to solve again. I mean, that's classic crypto move, honestly. But yeah, that happened. But in the real world, like when you look at, like when all this was going on in the crypto side, in the real world, every serious exchange that ever existed, like the New York Stock Exchange or Nasdaq or Binance or Coinbase Pro or your local stock exchange, literally every professional trading venue on planet Earth, they were still using order books. And some of them have been using it for like 400 years because it actually works really well. Now, when you look at it, order book is dead simple. I mean, conceptually, it's just two lists. Okay, like on one side, you got buyers saying that they are willing to pay, and on the other side, you got sellers saying that that they want this, right? So, for example, Alice says, "I'll pay, 41,000 for one Bitcoin." Bob says, "I'll pay 40,500 for one Bitcoin." Or Carol says, "I'll pay 40,000 for one Bitcoin," right? Meanwhile, on the sell side, Dave says, I'll sell one Bitcoin for 42,000." Emma says, "I'll sell one Bitcoin for 42.5 K," right? Frank says, "I'll sell for 43K." Right? So the market price is somewhere in that gap between Alice's highest buy offer at 41K and Dave's lowest sell offer at 42K. So you want to buy right now, you pay Dave 42K. Want to sell right now, you get Alice's 41K. But here's where it gets really cool, and that's why, I mean, professionals love order books. You don't have to trade right now. You can just park your order in the book and walk away. You can say, "Hey, if Bitcoin drops below 40K dollars, buy me one." And your order just sits there patiently waiting. It could be hours, it could be days, weeks. You're not watching the screen, you're not refreshing anything. And when the price eventually hits your target, boom, your order fills automatically. You set it and you forget it. And professional traders absolutely love the system because there is no slippage eating their profits. They can see exactly what everyone is willing to pay at every price level, which means real price discovery is happening. Large trades don't automatically destroy them, and the market actually reflects what human things think things are worth, not just what some mathematical formula spits out. It's legitimately how serious money has been traded for centuries, and there is a good reason for that. It actually works.